Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It's Friday, March 6th, 2026, and I am so glad to see you guys here this morning at our new time. And Koi, I did see your email, and I just wanted to say thank you for sending that. That was really helpful, the information you sent me. So thank you, thank you. Yes, I'm feeling so much better. I did skip last week as I tried to post everywhere and let you guys know. Um, I had to have a root canal retreatment and it went very, very well. Everything is good. So super glad about that. Glad to be here and glad to be making some cards today. Oh my goodness, chilly in Tucson, Heidi says. It's going to be kind of warm here today, but I saw Barbara even mention it. There's chances for severe weather. We've hit spring apparently in Kansas. Let's see. Hello, everybody. I'm going to scroll back here really quick. If you have any questions, definitely pop them in the chat. Sneaking in from work, Marta says, how fun. I love, love, love that. Just in time, Patty says, yay. Yes, so glad that went well. Also, because my fun is not complete, this has been a crazy week for appointments. I went to the dermatologist. My skin looks good, so yay for that. Have gone to physical therapy this week for my back, although my back is not flaring up. So the physical therapy, it's good to know what to do, but it's been kind of, my back is not showing them what sometimes it does. So that's not very helpful, but yeah. Ordered new glasses on Monday. They'll be here maybe in a week and a half or so. So we had eye doctor appointments. It's just been a week and I canceled another appointment. I was like, that is enough. I've got stuff to make. That's going to have to be pushed off to April. Hello, Sandy. Considering a tooth to avoid. Let's see. Melanie says, I'm considering a tooth to avoid a root canal. Laura can't wait to see what I do with the club projects. Yes. So before we before we jump in and start creating today, I do want to mention that Spellbinders had a video this week announcing the Oh What Fun event that is going to happen in August, at the end of August. And it's a Christmas themed card making event. There is a virtual option, which is where you're going to get, I can't remember how many classes, several 1-hour classes. And then there is an in-person option. And of course that is limited to the space available. And I will be one of the in-person instructors for that, as well as Kim Kesty at Spellbinders and Shannon from Hero Arts. So I would love to see you there. Several of you have messaged me and said that you're going to be or you're going to come to Phoenix in August. So super excited. I put a link down in the description box for you guys. So if you want to read all about it and see what is included, definitely check that out. And both options are amazing if you can't attend in person. Just to a note, the in-person classes are not recorded. So they're kind of, it's all one event, but they're kind of two separate things. So the in-person classes are kind of separate from the recorded virtual ones. Let's see. Yeah, wins this week, Marta said yes. Did the malfunctioning sirens mess up your sleep last night? Barbara, no. Did they go off in the middle of the night? I did not hear them. They did go off. I'm feeling like a couple of days ago at a weird time in the morning. I was actually on my way to the east side of town and I was like, what is going on? So weird. Yes, Amy says, glad to see you live. I'm glad to be here. Let's see, struggling. Hold 1 minute to find fabric for the pairs. We'll talk more about that in my weekly floss tube, or I'll talk a little bit about that. Might try to pop up to Phoenix. Heidi, that would be awesome. I would love, love, love that. Oh, yeah, Melanie, August is a hot mess for Phoenix. I was there 2 years ago, and yes, but luckily we're going to be indoors where it's nice and air conditioned. So there's that. Yeah, it's the surface of the sun hot, right? Okay, so we are going to be creating with the club products, and we are going to kind of I'm going to use several of the different March clubs. And of course, it is the 6th of the month, meaning it is open for new members to join. Now, if you want to join the clubs, or if you want to just, hang out and watch and see if there's anything you want to pick up next month on the 10th, when the current month's clubs are available for individual purchase, or you're just looking for some fun ideas. Um, so I'm going to be using mostly the large die, the stitching die, of course, the stamp set with the coordinating dies. I love the sentiments this month. And we're going to also be using some of the Club Crate products. Now, the crate products means you get all 8 clubs plus some awesome bonus items. And this month there are 3 different bonus items. So there's the Better Press plates and sentiments. There is a cute little like foam finger #1 die set, and then there's also some paper. I'm not going to use the paper, but we are going to use both of those other items kind of intermixed with our cards, and I'm going to hope to get to 3 cards today. Love the new time. I'm so glad. Yes, as we were kind of reevaluating the day, it's just, for me, it makes a little bit more sense to not have it quite in the middle of the day, because it just seems to take up the entire day. And we're going to try this. My hope is that it can be the morning, and then that leaves me the afternoon to maybe do some other things, get some other projects done, kind of get cleaned up and reset for the next week. The August heat in Phoenix is the reason my husband hasn't already purchased tickets for the Guess Who. Just got email that March has shipped, and oh, nice, Sandy. Exciting. I love, love, love that. Okay, the link to the class, we will pop that in the chat for you guys. It's called the Oh What Fun event, and it should be down in the bottom, but there it is in the chat. So hopefully that helps a little bit, makes it easier to find, and that should take you to the landing page for either event, in person or virtual. Okay, so I do have a little stitching on some cards to do today, which will take a little bit of time. I did a little bit of pre-stitch, but we're also going to take our time. With 3 cards, that does take a little bit more time to create, so let's talk about everything we're going to attempt to make today. So I have everything prepped and ready for me here. And this set here is the large die of the month. And if you notice, Spellbinders has also done some similar types of dies in the past. As far as, I think there's like, what, a rain boot from a year or 2 ago that had flowers coming out of it. They've also had like a hiking boot, kind of really, oh, and then I call it the ruby slipper. I can't remember what month that was, and it was not a ruby slipper, but it was like a nice little foot and a leg, and you could put stuff. So they've actually done this kind of idea several times. This looks like a Converse sneaker, and we're going to do this a couple of different ways. We're going to do kind of more of a guy themed card, I would say, and then we're going to do more of a floral themed card, and I love that it works either way. There's some fun barbecue tools and things in here as well, and you do not have to use these products together. You can definitely use them separately on their own, all kinds of fun ways to do that. So that's the large die of the month. Danae says she's waiting for the crate to ship. Yay! Love, love, love that. Okay, and then it's, of course, on the bottom. We are going to also be talking about the stitching die of the month, and I am obsessed. I love it because it's a ball cap, and what is awesome is it just really, the stitching works really well for this. There's lots of different little patches you can use on the cap, or not if you don't want to. There's sentiments. I think there's another one too. I think I have it with my card set. So it's a really, really fun set to use. I love this one. So we're going to be showcasing that as well. And then I mentioned that we're going to use the stamp set and see how usable these greetings are. Let me put some paper behind this. Really great sentiments that work for all kinds of cards. I just thought these were really, really cute and will work beyond just your club projects and products as well. And there are coordinating dies for the sentiments, which are really nice. Now I put them on this magnet sheet with one of the crate bonus items, which is, of course, is the foam finger. It has an arm you can put with it, but I think this is really fun. And I think it's going to be really cute. So here, I'll show you. I have my little pieces die cut here, and we're going to include that on one of our cards. Then we are also going to use one of the other crate bonus items, which is this wonderful texture plate. And I thought this would be really cool, of course, foiled in my favorite white foil on one of the backgrounds. I love the grungy texture of this. Plus, you can use these sentiments on lots of different things too. And we also are going to be showcasing the stencil of the month. Let me just dump my pieces off, which again is a wonderful stencil set. It creates the sun rays, and there's all different pieces for that. But then there's that grungy texture as well. So we're going to utilize this, and we're actually going to start with this one today. Oh, Koi says, thanks for the assistant for all of the links. I am so glad you guys love that. It does make it so much nicer for me, for sure. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with a little background. And we're going to do a little stenciling. And I am going to do a very minimal, I'm not going to use a ton of different colors. That's what I want to say. We're going to create the sun ray stencil background here on some of the windy color of cardstock. And I already know that I forgot to link the windy cardstock now that I say that out loud. So I will have to do that later. But it's the nice light blue color. And we're going to start by stenciling. And I'm going to do a tone-on-tone design with these. And then when we get to the 5th stencil, we're going to do that on top for the grungy texture. And we're actually going to do that with a white opaque grit paste. And I want to do this one first so the paste has a chance to dry. Good morning, Crafty Lee. Hi, under a pile of papers. Oh, Marta, thank you. He says thank you too. Question, can you just get a ticket to the event but not to do any class? I do not know. You mean you want to come to Phoenix but not do the classes? I'm not sure. You might have to email me. Okay, so I'm going to actually use a little bit of the Simon Says Stamp Morning Ink first. And let me tap off and make sure. Yeah, it's pretty light. This is pretty light. I don't want to go too dark with this. And I don't think I'm going to use all 4 of the stencils that create the rays, because I am starting on a colored cardstock, and I'm kind of using that base color as my 3rd color option. No, Ethan is not my new employee. He doesn't think this sounds like a good job. Boy, is he wrong. He doesn't even know what he's missing, does he? All right. And I'm not actually going to take it all the way to the edge in very many places because I want it to, well, maybe it kind of, oh, see how it's a little bit lighter? I just want it to be a little imperfect. Okay, then I'm going to take this next one. These line up so easy. Who gets the stencil of the month? And for this, we're going to take Twilight ink, which is just a little bit darker. Not a lot, but a little bit. I'm going to tap a little bit of that off on my desk before. And again, I'm going to start here in the center and kind of maintain a little bit of that color out on the edge. Oh, how fun! Starry Night says this is her first live. Welcome! Karen gets the stencil of the month. I love that. Karen likes the stencils, huh, Karen? Karen, was it you that I saw earlier saying you were thinking, did the thinking face about Phoenix in August? Or were you just being like, oh my goodness, Phoenix in August? Sandy Anderson gets the entire crate. So fun every month. Yes. Donna, she gets the stencil of the month and loves it. I love that. Marta gets the All Clubs crate. Danae gets it all. That is so fun. What I love is how everything is made to work together so beautifully. Okay. To me, I think that is plenty. Now, the great thing, if you wanted to completely cover, let's say you're starting with a white color of cardstock, you could completely do this in, you know, multiple colors and it'd be really, really fun. I do think, though, I'm going to take this 4th stencil and I'm just going to take whatever ink is left on here and add a little bit of blue to the center. But other than that, we're actually going to skip stencil 3 and most of stencil 4. All right, let's go ahead and grab stencil 5 now. And this is that super fun, grungy kind of texture. And it really kind of mimics a little bit this bonus crate item, this wonderful Better Press plate. Oh my goodness. Nice. Leanne just signed up for the crate. That's awesome. Allison gets the stencil and Better Press. I love that. Laura gets it all too. Martha gets the entire crate. Oh, I live local and watch Spellbinders video to explain the event, and you know what? I will tell you I have not watched the video. And so I would have to check with them for some answers on that. Okay, so I'm going to grab some white texture paste and we are going to apply that just like so. And what I often, when I'm doing a stencil and using texture paste, I will not place it everywhere to kind of get that imperfect look. So I really love that this stencil already does that just as is. And this is for the first card that I'm creating today, which I'm going to be using multiple things on. And then I have a couple more versions as well. All right, we're just going to scrape off that excess and put it back in our jar. And when I pull it off, look how fun that background is. I love that. Okay, I am done with my stencil now. And we're going to start working on some of the rest of the design, which is going to include some stitching. Let me toss up my stencils and things in here so I can put a little water in them so that paste doesn't get stuck on there. All right, so next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to put my rubber band back on my texture paste. I cannot remember who told me to get these, but this seems to really help on the grit paste, or all of my pastes, but I use grit paste the most, and it really is nice. Let's see. Let's see. Hi, Michelle. So excited to catch you live. Nice. Hello. It's so nice to see you, Risa. It is so pretty right there, isn't it? You know, something that I think is kind of fun, and I sometimes think of this as a fun challenge. It would be fun to make this in a lot of different colors. Like if you just have a day where maybe you don't necessarily want to work on loads of like the full card, and you're just feeling like, I just want to stencil, I just want to make some backgrounds. This background right here would be a great one to make in a multitude of colors, and then you just pop whatever you want on there. You could even just do a nice big sentiment, um, a heart, a star, something big and bold in the center, and then some fun little sentiments and embellishments. It would be amazing. So I love this stencil set. I thought it was really, really cute. Hello, Alyssa. Hello, my friend. I haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see you here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I am going to grab, and I really hope I'm not missing a bunch of dies. So something, you know how I usually put things in my craft stacks? I had this one sitting on top, and I had it laid out. And I dropped something on my desk this morning, and wouldn't you know, I dropped it right on this, and they just exploded and went, all the die cut pieces went everywhere. But I have more paper, I have the dies, I can die cut more if needed. But I could not believe I did that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, snowing in Colorado. Where in Colorado are you, Melissa? I was talking to my daughter last night, and she lives in Colorado, and she was saying she thought there was supposed to be snow where she's at today. So, okay. So let's talk about our little ball cap here. Our ball cap is so unique. Also, I want to mention, I'm going to stitch mine. Definitely check out the Spellbinders website. You do not have to stitch the pieces if you don't want to. It looks really cute even without, but I love that little bit of stitching detail. So the cap, the bill of the cap and the rest of the cap are separate pieces. So it allows you to do a two-tone if you want to, which is really, really fun. And then you can take the other extra components, and I'm just going to kind of lay them out before I start stitching. And you can customize it. And then there's this little piece that goes right under here, underneath the bill of the cap, so it looks like it's, you know, over like this. And we're going to work on stitching up the cap, and I'm going to show you how I do that. And then there's little silver like rivets that go on here that we'll add in a little bit. And those are the things that I'm afraid that I have misplaced. Oh, Michelle says their oldest daughter lives in Colorado. Oh, how fun. Loveland is where Alyssa is, of course. Yes. First live. Hello, Cindy. Nice to see you. And Melissa says in Greeley. Yes, I know right where Greeley is. I'm going to grab a drink. On top of all the appointments, if you were here at the beginning I had this week, I don't know if I've caught a little bit of a cold or if it's allergies from the weather going crazy. So you might hear it in my voice a little bit. Sorry about that. Isn't that just the way it goes? Okay, so I'm going to show you. I did pre-stitch the bill of the cap. Oh, maybe I need to trim those little ends. Hold on. Those are a little long. So I wanted to show the little stitching detail right there along the brim of the cap. Oh, Michelle has a great suggestion. She says use a white gel pen to mimic stitching. I love that. Great suggestion, Michelle. So we're going to take the cap piece first. And I wanted to show you guys what I have been using to stitch a lot lately on my paper and even my felt. This is called Sulky Floss, and it is just a cotton embroidery floss, but it's slightly thicker than DMC. I usually use about 3 strands of floss when I'm stitching felt things, but because it's a little thicker, I can use 2 strands of this, and I also use 2 strands for my paper. And so that is what I picked. And I did put the exact colors I'm using in today's video down below in the description in case you're interested. But I love them. They come on these cute little spools, which is the cute factor for sure. Yeah, it's the allergies. Yes. And she says it, and of course, she has stitch day later today. Of course, yes. So we're going to use the parchment color. I used, that's a good, thanks for putting that in the chat. All right, so I'm using parchment on the top part of the hat, so it's going to have white. For the bill of the cap, I actually used this really pretty sky color. So that's what I used for that. But the rest of the stitching I'm going to do on here is going to be in the parchment color. The azalea color I'm going to save to do on my pinky version of this card. So I just did a little knot because these holes are pretty small and there is quite a lot of stitching on this. So we're just going to hopefully buzz around this, not too terrible long. And I go up and down every other hole. It is really similar. If you do watch any of my felt stitching, I do very much the same thing. So I'm not doing a traditional back stitch. It's more of a running stitch. So up and down, up and down. And when I get to the end of the quote unquote line, then I will come back and fill in those spaces. It takes a little less floss this way. And I think my stitches look a little neater. But I think it is a really fun detail to add to any of their fun stitching dies. And again, I like that it's not necessary. You do not have to do the stitching if you don't want to. It looks really cute. And over on Spellbinders, they have lots of examples underneath the product this month. And quite a few of them don't do any stitching. So has anyone ever tried this sulky thread for, if you're a stitcher? I've used it on a stitched piece a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, and I really liked it. Let me know if you've used this before. Christy says, random question, are drops or bobbins better? Whoops, I didn't actually mean to go there. I meant to go back. Do you mean for storing your floss? I don't think there's a right or wrong answer there. So I'm just shifting back and I'm going to come back. I'm going to try to hold this up higher. That probably would be a little bit better. And I'm going to try to stitch, maybe not all of it on camera. I might do some of it off. We'll see. You guys let me know. I love watching you use this silky thread. Very intriguing. Oh, thank you. I really am liking it. I feel like it covers the space really nice. Oh, Debbie says silky is great for machine embroidery too. That is good to know. Oops. Maybe less reading the questions and more paying attention to what I'm doing. Kathleen uses it for machine embroidery. Okay, I did not know that. So 2 of you have talked about that. And Monique uses a white gel pen to mimic a stitch. I love that too. Hello, Monique. So I've just come back now and see how we filled in all of that space. Just up and down every other one. Then I'm just going to pop over here because I don't really care what the back of my paper looks like I might with a cross stitch piece, and I am going to do the same thing. Now, another idea that I saw someone do that would be really cute is that they did like X's, which that is a really fun option as well. You would have to kind of figure out where everything goes and such, but I think that would be super cute. Oh, using some pearl cotton. I love that idea. What a good suggestion. Ooh, I'm going to have to try that. I love that. Let's see. Stitch up Lila's Studio Halloween Quaker. Oh, fun. You're using it for that? I love it. Melissa says, recently got done cross-stitching, or went down the cross-stitching rabbit hole, so she probably needs to get some. Well, not necessarily. And the great thing, you do not have to be a stitcher of anything else to be able to do this. What makes this so nice, A, the die cut holes are nice and big, so super easy to see. And B, you don't have to be, I mean, it gives you a guideline, but B, it is super easy and much quicker than you know, cross stitch or needlepoint or embroidery or any of that. Also, the contrast, I should have mentioned this. Let me show that die set. I'm so sorry, you guys. So, if you wanted to, and I did do this, but if you just want the contrast to show back behind those stitching holes, you can just die cut an extra piece of cardstock in a contrasting color to go back behind, and that these holes haven't popped out. I'd pop those out if I was doing that. And really, that looks amazing just like that. You wouldn't even have to stitch if you didn't want to. Donna wants to know if I thought you could use this with felt, or are the holes too close together? I'm going to say that the holes are too close together, and the way that the die is designed is not going to work. And the holes are pretty close together, so that's the first thing. But the other thing, Donna, is that these straight lines in the cap, they do cut through. So they are going to cut through your felt as well. And I don't think it would hold up very well. Oh, nice. Using Aurifloss for some of the motifs. I love that. It's a good idea. I wonder what I got here on my hat. I feel like there's a little... Oh, I think it was a little piece of cardstock that kind of got itself embedded and embossed in there. Whoops. This is one of my favorite activities. Like if you're watching something in an evening, I will try to die cut multiples of this so that I can sit and kind of just get them all done while I'm watching something. But it feels, to me, it feels time consuming when I am live, but when I'm just doing it, I feel like it's not that much. Is Lawn Fawn thread too thick for these dies? Oh, I have never tried it. It is going to, even though it's nice and thin, I love, love, love their twine. The trick is going to be finding probably, yes, I think it would be too thick to lay really nice, but the trick will be finding a needle with an eye in it big enough to thread that through, even though it is thin. I would probably stick to a regular DMC embroidery floss or a pearl cotton or anything. Have fun with it and try different things. But if you don't stitch and have access to lots of different floss options, I would stick with DMC. It's easily available, it's relatively inexpensive, and you don't need tons of colors. A lot of times I just use the same colors over and over. Lots of white or off-white, whatever. Stitching is so relaxing, Donna said. I think so too, even the stitching on paper. And you'll notice I could have popped all these little holes out ahead of time, but I just use my needle to do it. And then I clean up the mess later. This is when I say my office needs a good vacuum when I'm done. Barbara says, stitching is so relaxing. I love just sitting and doing it with the TV on or an audiobook in the background. I do too. That's exactly what I do, Donna. Usually an audiobook. Kat loves this cap design. It's pretty unique and it has a lot of possibilities. Yes. Okay, and I do want to mention, okay, what month was that? Was that January or December? That had the spa girl in it. Can't remember. If you go to Spellbinders and look on the stitching die of the month for this month, somebody took the spa girl and they put the baseball cap on her, and it's really cute. Really clever idea. Let's see. J-Med Stitching says she always has to have her hands busy. I am too. I'm one of those people too. I don't do well. I don't like to just sit and watch a movie or anything. I'm always working on something. Because otherwise I'll just fall asleep. I have gotten to that point. I just always like to be busy and always like to be working on some sort of a hand project. But definitely check, if you click the link there in the chat, it will take you to the product and you can check out that cute little image of the girl. So fun. Okay, I'm actually not doing too bad here on this. We almost have it. What is everybody's weekend plans? Anything fun planned for the weekend or a crafty project? Are you cleaning your craft room? Are you starting something new? I did see, I think Tim Holtz has a live tomorrow for Easter inspiration. That ought to be fun. I want to mention last Friday, the day I ended up having to skip, I decided to go ahead and reschedule that. So Tuesday the 10th at 10 a.m. Central Time, I will be live and we're going to be showcasing the February clubs. I have already done one live with the clubs, but there were a few products I hadn't got a chance to use, including that small die of the month. So we will be playing with that on Tuesday. Donna, I do. They are in the works. Karen says baseball and stitching for her. What are you stitching on, Karen? Oh, the Hero Art Stamp Along is this weekend. Very fun. Going to Disney World, Robin. I want to go with you. Dodging tornadoes. Shelly, right? It's a real thing. Hubby got you a new sewing machine for your birthday, Sandy said. Oh, I love that. Making Easter cards with the Simon Hurley bunnies. I love those. I still need to get some projects shared with those. Having a live on Monday, trying your new streaming. Nice. New software is always fun. Monique says trying to make baby cards, but tough. They kind of can be, yes. Oh, a sparkly thread. You know, you could also use the, what is that DMC sparkly thread called? Why am I having a moment? You guys will think of it. Going to work on Easter basket. I have 4 chocolate bunnies stitched up. Oh, cute, cute, cute. Fish fry at church this evening. Cleaning. Teresa says paper crafts this week while watching the World Baseball Classic. Hopefully making cards on Sunday and playing with granddaughters on Saturday. Well, that sounds amazing. Yes, a weekend to catch up after being called into work would be great. Right? I agree with that about idle hands. The assistant is answering about World Baseball. He's very invested in this. So the assistant is actually my oldest son. His name is Brendan. I know somebody asked if it was Ethan. It is not. It is my oldest son, Brendan. Krynick. Monique, thank you. The DMC I was thinking of was Krynick. That's the sparkly. I do not like stitching with it, although I do think the results would be phenomenal. I do every once in a while. You know, a project sometimes just calls for it, but I do not love it. Stitching with it is kind of the pits. Started Seasons of the Heart. Oh, I love it. On 40 count. Go Karen. Nice. Oh, I love that one. Now I'm tempted to go start it and stitch it with you. Let's see. Anne says she has the Simon Hurley bunnies and chicks and has to wrap those cards up this weekend. Nice. Oh, Michelle, thank you. Thank you guys for the love for Brendan. He is amazing. Okay. Also, he celebrated a birthday this week. If anyone would like to give him some birthday wishes. I'm sure he doesn't love that. That I outed him. I know, but it would be great if you could do a Simon Says Stamp kit class. Okay, do you mean with the monthly kits, Donna? Or do you mean like a specialty class? Karen says the border's going faster than she thought on that. Well, Karen, you know, you've almost convinced me I need to start that like tonight. And I have no business starting anything else new, but who cares? Do it anyway. Oh, you want to know the spelling? It's actually not any of those, you guys. It's Brenden. So 2 E's. It's not the A or the O. But that's okay. I thought that I should give one of my children a hard spelling name, just like mine. You know how it's not spelled the way it's normally spelled? Yeah, I thought I should do that to one of my kids. I'm sure he's super grateful. Let's see. All right, I'm almost there. I had tried to stitch this before, part of it before, and I didn't get it done. Luckily, the other hat is almost all the way done. A special class like Tim or Jennifer. You know what? That is not up to me. But you definitely, you know, let Simon Says Stamp know. I would love to do one. I think that would be really, really fun. Yes, Karen, send me a picture. I want to see. I just kitted up the strawberry stitch the other day. Oh, I love it. And you have the felt cutout too, Kat. I cannot wait to see what you get. Builds character. Exactly. I love that Starry Nights. Melissa says now she has to look up Seasons of the Heart. And she said her husband says she's good at making everything but money. Spelling of names is important. Yes, and you're correct, Michelle, because I'm pretty sure that I have written cards before. I hope you might be one that I've had to white out because I'm like, that's not correct. I always say I answer to whatever because my name is spelled different. I mean, it's important on like my legal documents and whatnot, but I don't, you know, it is what it is. My mom did tell me here not too long ago, we were talking about something relating to my name. And she goes, sorry. And I'm like, it's fine, Mom. It used to bother me a lot when I was little because you'd go somewhere and you know you can buy pins or stickers or whatever that have your name on it, and I would always go look at those and I'd always want one, and there was never one with my name spelled right, or spelled right, spelled my way. I don't know if my way is necessarily right. And anymore you see a lot with an E spelled my way but with an E on the end. So still not exactly right. How do you stitch and read at the same time? Monique says. Lots of practice, Monique. Lots and lots and lots of practice. just started Spring from the Seasons of the Heart and changed everything. Kat is stitching too. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's so fun. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Yes, and Karen with the C is the same way. We got lots of it here today. Alyssa said, there never used to be any options. I bet not. No options, not even incorrect spelling, huh? I remember one year we went for a vacation out to Colorado when I was little. And at one of the places, they must have done like a custom little pen. I still have it. Oh, I should get it out sometime. But it's this little heart pen. It's crazy, right? Since I still love hearts. And my parents had them put my name on it, spelled right, and it was one of my treasured possessions. Okay, I am just going to run my needle underneath because I'm finished stitching my little cap, and we are going to glue this together. Oh, Kat says hers is not a traditional spelling either. Yes, I think there's a lot of us. All right, let's get rid of some of these little holes that I poked out first. Not that little silver rivet. And I am still going to go ahead and glue this to the navy hat because it does show through here. So I'm kind of imagining that like the lining of my ball cap. Okay, and we're just going to glue this right on here. That's the first thing we're going to do. And reverse tweezers are always my favorite little way, and multiple reverse tweezers, even better, to kind of pinch and hold that together. So that's the first thing. I'm also going to put a little glue on the top of here. Multiple backgrounds is a great idea, Tina said. Yes. I think you'd have a lot of fun because then you can just work. Maybe it'll spark some ideas. That's one of my favorite go-to ideas if I'm struggling is I will just be like, I'll just make some backgrounds. And then we can always come back later and make the full card. Okay. These little teeny tiny rivets are very tiny. I definitely would suggest some tweezers here. And let me pop out. I'm going to try to limit the glue. We are going to put these on here. And I use the brushed silver cardstock from Spellbinders. I know I've talked about this quite a bit before. Koi's saying that her first name, she goes by her middle name. Yes. Does My Favorite Things no longer exist? Monique says, yes, they did close, unfortunately. I know. It's so sad when our favorite companies close, isn't it? I'm really afraid I'm missing one of these little rivets. It's probably one, and you know, I'll never find it because it probably is one of them that went flying. Okay, we'll just worry about that and die cut that later. Now, the next thing I want to show you is that on the bill here of the cap, do you see that great little score line? That's going to tell you where it goes underneath the main portion. So that's where I'm going to put my glue for that. And we are just going to lay that right against that score line like so. And look how cute that is. And again, I'm just going to use my tweezers just to kind of help pinch and hold that for just a minute. Sharon, your mom and my mom sound about the same. My mom said she saw my name somewhere and liked it. So fun. Oh, good. Risa likes the little clips I use when sewing works so well, especially on smaller pieces. Yes, Absolutely. Okay. And then same thing with this other little piece that goes underneath the bill of the cap. It has that, let's see, there we go, that little score line. And I'm just going to put glue on that. And we're going to slip this right here, just like so. And we're just going to pinch that. Look how cute our little ball cap is going to be. Okay, now I am going to go ahead and stitch the little label for the cap. And I did choose to do like this little red label because we are going to do a red Converse sneaker on here in just a minute. And I need to get a little bit more thread for my needle. What I had left was not enough. It's not going to take a lot. This stitch is pretty quick. And remember, there are lots of options. So I'm using MVP for mine, but there's Dad. There is Boss #1. Here, I'm going to show. Or just a blank one. So this one has no option. Then we've got Boss #1, Dad. So it would make really nice like Father's Day cards, especially with like the grilling items and whatnot. I love that. Melissa says, love this so much. The Spellbinders clubs have been killing it lately. Yes, I agree. And I love that they are, it's different, completely different than last month. I don't know. I can't say enough great things about it. It stretches me also outside of my comfort zone. And I think that that is an important thing as makers, as crafters. It's good to have like your go-tos, and I definitely have my go-tos, but I do think it's a good thing to kind of get stretched outside of your comfort zone once in a while. Question, do you use Spellbinder scissors or another brand, and why do you like them? I need a new pair. Okay. I'm actually using these Simon Says stamp ones, and for some reason these cut thread nicely. I don't have any Spellbinder scissors. I use these, but mostly I use Tim Holtz scissors. And I have these older, I don't even think they come in this maroon color anymore, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're black. But I love my Tim Holtz scissors. I have those in a couple, but I have some Simon Says stamp ones in a couple of sizes too, and I like those as well. Those are the ones I have right now and I love. So again, I just started and we're going to stitch around and then we're just going to reverse it when we get back. But I really loved and appreciated all the thought that went into this set, because if you think about a ball cap, the little patch that sometimes is on the front of the ball cap has that stitching around it. So they could have easily just made this layering or whatever, but I really love that it has the stitching detail that matches the rest of this. Is it spring yet? Gina wants to know. I don't know. Kansas can't decide what it wants to do. Like, it's supposed to be like 73 or something today and 50 something tomorrow. And it's why my voice sounds like this. This weather is crazy. Oh, Martha, it sounds good. Yes. Okay, so I'm back to where I started, and this particular one, I can just kind of go up and down every one again. Sometimes, depending on where they position the holes in the dies, you either kind of reverse it and go back around, or you can simply kind of just start filling in every other. And I love when you get to that point where you are filling it in and it's going to make the complete, stitch design. If you like, you can just do a running stitch, but I personally like all of the area to be filled in. Here in Holland, Monique says it's a very nice 17 degrees. Donna loves the Simon Says stamp scissors. Yes. Okay, and then the smaller, pointier tip pair, I don't know where mine are. They're not where they're supposed to be at the moment. Be careful. When I first got those, I was using them to take the plastic wrapping off of a Distress Spritz spray from Tim Holtz. And the scissor, I wasn't being careful. I will say that. I was not being careful. And the scissor slipped and got my finger, and I cut myself bad. So don't be me is basically what I'm saying there. So they are nice and sharp. I can attest to that. Yes, I wondered if it wasn't European degrees. I was going to ask Monique. Okay, so I'm done. Yippee. We can now put together the rest of our card. And the good news is our paste is probably dry. All right. The other thing I love about this set is that there is the layering piece that goes back behind. So you can kind of do that nice little contrast. Oh, Michelle says, aloha from Honolulu. I wish I was in Honolulu. And she loves those scissors. Okay, so we're just going to glue that in place. And I'm just going to clamp this for a minute. Let's do it like that. And that should glue it on nice and tight. And then we will add it to our cap. So let's work on gluing together some of the rest of the elements. And we've got our foam finger here. And I cut this from some Beeswax Cardstock and then some white for the little outline. Let's go ahead and use our tweezers. And we are going to glue this down in place. I really thought this was a fun little addition. And again, the only way to get this set or the Better Press background that we're going to use here in a minute, I'm going to actually use it for glimmering, not Better Press, but is if you are a member of the Club Crate, which is where you get all of the sets. Michelle says, blessed to live in paradise. That is so nice. I love that. Oh, looky there. My last little rivet showed up. Thank goodness I don't have to go die cut another one. I wondered. That is good news. That one goes right there. All these little elements are just so fun. Okay, and then we're going to put our little number 1 here. Right on our little foam finger. That hat looks awesome, Gina said. Thank you. I think it's worth it, and it's so cute, and there are so many ways to create different caps. Like, think of using it for lots of different seasons and such, or if kiddos or grandkids or nieces or nephews play for a certain team, or your loved one is a fan of a certain team, I think that it could be a lot of fun. Okay, we're going to set that aside for a minute as well, and we are going to work on our little sneaker. Now, the sneaker is really fun. It has the pieces, don't be intimidated by it. It goes together super easy. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to glue the part where it has the laces to the solid piece. And I opted for this one to do 2 shades of red. We've got Pomegranate, which is our darker, and that's going to be the tongue of our shoe kind of there. And we have Poppy, which is here on the front. And then the inside here is also going to be the pomegranate color. Just like this. So there is the first part of our shoe. Oh, J-Med Stitch Girl says, yes, Lori is in Des Moines, Iowa. I think she is doing something for Tailored Expressions this weekend. popping in to see what I'm making. Aw. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to piece together the sole of our shoe. And for this, there are 3 distinct pieces. Or actually 4. I apologize. There's actually 4. So we're going to do that piece. We're going to do the toe of our sneaker. And what's fun is this allows you, if you wanted this to be in, you know, to do some different colors. I kind of did all white on white. You totally could. So now we have that. And then, oh, not this one. This is the one I cut wrong. This piece, which has some nice little lines in it. It's so clever. Will go right here, and it kind of bridges the gap, or not gap, but it bridges both of those pieces. Just like so. Let me make sure that's lined up. There we go. Look how cute. And then I'm just going to run a bead of glue along this little detail here. What I love is so much thought has gone into this and how this goes together. And then we're simply going to pop our little, oh, I think I put that on wrong. That's always good. It goes this way. We're going to just pop that right there. Look at our sneaker. Isn't this the cutest? Okay, Catherine says, military colors. I have a stitched alphabet for the names of the branch. Great idea. And then we even have our little patch here that goes on our shoe. And then the very clever laces. So it's a 3-piece lace here. We're going to start with the laced up part. And all you do is you just kind of, I'm going to line it up with the bottom hole on my sneaker, and we're just going to lay it against here, basically, so it looks like it's laced up. Just like so. How cute is that? That sneaker is so cool. Yes, isn't it? And then the laces. And they look like they're untied for this, which is also super cute. So then coming out of this one, we're going to lay that. And I'm going to put a little glue on the top. And it's going to be kind of over here like so. And there is our adorable little sneaker. Donna says, I love when Spellbinders does unique dies. Me too. I thought these were so cute. Okay, so let's glue our patch to our cap. And we can pop this on the background. Okay, now for this, I am lining up the pointy edge here and the pointy edge here with the seam going down the center of the cap. And then I'll just use my tweezers to hold that. Just like so. And then we have our background. And we're going to kind of place our cap, I think, and I'm going to pop it up with foam. But we're going to kind of do a fun little like grouping basically of all these fun little things together. And kind of play around and see how I like it the best. And then what we can do, let me see where I put my sentiments. There it is. I thought it would be fun to, you could do Hope Your Day is a Home Run, You're in a League of Your Own. Let's see which one I wanted to do here. I kind of like Hope Your Day is a Home Run and Have a Super Birthday. I like both of those. What do you think? I think so. So what I would do here is I think we're going to stamp both of these and cut them into little strips that go like this. Or we could do it like this if we move it up a little bit. So let me grab some. First, I need to glue that down a little better. We're going to grab some foam. All the foam squares, all the time. Such a great Tina card. Michelle said, yes, I think so too. I think, like, sometimes it can be hard to find cards that are, like, great for teen boys. I think this one could kind of serve a lot of those kind of purposes, which is great. My nephew would like this card a lot. He is all about sports, and sometimes, you know, there's a big division between the cute little boy things and then some of the, and then there's great stuff for the most part, I think, for older guys, like the card and stuff I gave my son this week. But there's this funny space in between for teens that is really difficult. Sneaker kind of reminds me of a Converse. Yes, that's totally what I am channeling for sure. Koi says I could have used it. Yes. Okay. You want to know something fun? Since somebody brought up my favorite things in the chat, I have lots of cards I've never sent that I made a while back. And I actually made or gave him one that used old My Favorite Things products. But it was so cute. I forgot I had it. I was going through a bunch of my older cards looking for the perfect card this last week. I was like, okay, do I have something or do I need to make something? And I ended up having one that worked. They had these cute beer steins and like there was a whole collection. I can't remember how many years ago. I would say probably 4 years ago that came out, maybe. But then it had a sentiment like Happy Beer Day or something. And that's what I ended up giving him. And he really liked it. I have 2 from that time. And I was like, oh, these were so cute. I'm sure there's a video on my channel, but I know it's been a few years since I made that one. Oh, Melissa, thank you for the super chat. Karen has a hard time with cards for her nephews and they are in their teens. Yes, that's the hardest age. My nephew is just now getting there and it's this would be something I could give him and I think he would like it. His last birthday, I struggled because everything I had looked too little kiddish. Okay, so I'm just kind of, like I said, kind of doing a little group of this stuff. I wish I'd not put so much foam back there. I actually kind of wish I hadn't tipped that quite as much. Let's try to adjust that just a tad. And maybe let's move some foam. We're going to have to get creative here because I kind of don't love that. Okay, that's not too bad. All right. Maybe I should pay attention to what I'm doing. Loving all these products together. I am too. I love that you really can mix and match, and I'm going to show you that it can make some other cards too. My kids would love these because they all grew up wearing Converse high tops. Yes. Oh my gosh. I remember one year my daughter had to have this specific pair of Converse. Oh, funny things you think about. Okay, that foam square also is not where I need it to be. I should have thought about this before I started gluing it all down. There we go. Okay, I'm really thinking we're going to do our sentiments kind of right in here. All right, let me move my foam mess out of the way. And we're just going to take another piece of windy cardstock. And there are dies for a lot of the sentiments are stacked. These are the nice long ones. So what we're going to do, because there is a die to cut those, which I do love a good sentiment strip die, as you guys know. This one we're going to use to cut both of these. So what we're going to do is prep our cardstock with a little powder tool. Michelle says, pay attention to what you're doing. What's the fun in that? That is my philosophy, for sure. For sure. Okay. And then we're going to stamp both of these, and I'm going to emboss with white. Because I did that white Tim Holtz grit paste in the background, I really don't think I want to do my sentiments in a dark black. I think they're going to look really nice in white, and it will tie into the card and not stand out quite as much, if that makes sense. I like my sentiments for the most part to be more of an integral part of the design instead of separate, if that makes any sense at all. So we're just going to sprinkle on our white embossing powder here. And oh, thank you, Silly Jilly. Heidi says she has Converse in blue, green, brown, and white, but mostly wears gray or black clothes. Well, your shoes are your statement piece then, Heidi. Janetta says she's ditto on loving this month's crate. I love that. I just really love that it's something super different than what we've seen. And I love when I instantly open something and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is totally, like I said, will work for my nephew, or my boys, or whatever. Okay, so I am going to line up my sentiment strip die with one side, and then I'm going to flip it around and die cut the other. It's a little extra work, but I don't like all the extra space at the ends of my sentiment strips. Oh, Michelle says her daughter-in-law and all her bridesmaids wore Converse tennis shoes for their wedding. I've seen that before. That's cute, and how probably way more comfortable. Not probably. There's no probably about that. Way more comfortable. Okay, then we're going to take and we're just going to line it up here and pop that in. We'll see how I want to put these on here. Oh, Catherine says her daughter-in-law did the same, Michelle. Donna says with spring coming, it's nice to see something a little different. I agree. I love the spring and Easter products, but I really enjoyed seeing something that wasn't seasonal specific necessarily. And we'll do the same thing for this one. So we're just going to flip this around. And I'm just lining it up. There we go. With the end of the word. And we're going to run that through. I love that little click that you hear when it pops. And then you should just be left with that little piece there. And I think what we can do, I might even cut this one apart and make it 3 little strips is what I think we're going to do for this one. Unless I want to put one of them up here. I kind of like them grouped together. Myself, that shoelace looks unbelievably real. Isn't it amazing, Debbie? I have to say that's one of my favorite things that Spellbinders does when they do a shoe and it looks like it actually has something in it. It's kind of amazing. Okay, so I'm just going to put some foam under part of this strip. Oops, and stick my finger in the glue. At least better than dropping it on here. And this is going to slightly overlap a little bit. And then we're going to do Hope Your Day's a Home Run. And we're just going to cut that apart and basically end up with 3 little strips here, which is something I would do with pre-made strips as well. And I like that it says, have a super birthday, hope your day's a home run. Oh, how fun, Anne. And see, that just fits this so much better. And then, of course, we would put this on. Let me see what is happening. Oh, I need a foam square. We'll put this on a card base to finish it off. Now, I noticed that I need a little foam square under this corner to attach it. I must have not put one there. There we go. Now it's going to lay nice and flat. And there is our fun birthday themed card, kind of with a collage of different elements. So we've got our MVP, number 1, and then have a super birthday, hope your day's a home run. So that is card number 1. Now the challenge for me was, I thought, that is great, but I have a lot of cards, like birthday cards monthly, to send to gals. So what about taking the different elements and using them for more of a, cute, girly themed card? So we're going to have a little cap here, and it's all going to be in shades of pinks, and we're going to add florals to it. So let's do that before we work on, I have one more after this. And most of this is stitched. I only have a little portion left. But the first thing is, let's try a different background treatment. We could totally use the same one that we just did, but I thought it would be kind of fun to maybe take, this is going to be our embossing folder of the month this month. And it's kind of this really cute little starburst pattern. And I am going to center it. It's going to give a similar look to the stencils, but of course embossing. So we're going to put it in our embossing folder just like that. J-Med Stitch Girl says, no stranger danger from the dogs. I know. Part of it, I think, is this time is not generally when I get anybody coming to the house. So maybe it's the difference in the time. I don't know. Or maybe it's that Odin is right here sleeping. Okay, so the regular embossing folders, if you're using a Spellbinders, it shows you the sandwich. We have our base, which is this. We have our top. We have our embossing folder with paper, and then just one of the cutting plates is inside. So that's what I'm going to do. And we'll just grab, well, that's my terrible looking cutting plate. And we're going to run that right on through. Late to the show. Hello, Beth. Oh, and my handle fell off. Whoops. I did notice that it was loose the other day. I think the screw fell out somewhere, so I need to look for it. Excuse me. Okay, I fixed it now. because we're going to need it again. And here is our little background. Super, super cute. Either way you want to use it, really cute. We're going to give it a very simple treatment for this one. I'm going to take a white pigment ink pad and we're going to rub this very lightly, and the embossed areas are going to pick this up. It's not going to be a very dramatic background, but I like that subtle little bit of white against the beautiful Seaside Cardstock. I love this aqua cardstock. So it really helps the design stand out a little bit. Fun, fun, fun. Barb says, late 2, question, does the Platinum 6 cut the old Tim Holtz big dies? I don't have any of those dies anymore. You would have to check on the Spellbinders website and check for compatibility and double check. I want to say yes, but I don't want to tell you wrong. So I can't for sure tell you yes, unless somebody else has done that. Susie says her screw fell out a long time ago. Oh yeah, and I don't even replace it. Like, it's only when I'm live that I think, oh no, you might notice that they don't have my screw in there. Oh well, is what it is. Okay, so for my hat, I only have a tiny bit of stitching, only this. I stitched everything else for this one. And on this one, I used number 1. And we're going to do kind of this really pretty alabaster and cream hat. And then we're going to add some florals to this one. And for this card, we are going to utilize the Birthday MVP. I thought this was really cute because this is a cute card for a birthday. So number 1 and then Birthday MVP. And we're going to glimmer this. This is a die, but and it is from the stitching set, but I personally really love using those with my glimmer. And we're going to do a little glimmering all together here. Teresa's working without the screw in her handle too. Fantastic. I bet we're all together here. I did get the crate for this month, so happy to see the ideas. Beth said, oh, I'm so excited you got it. How fun. I can't wait to see what all you guys make with it. It's just a very clever, very fun set. Like we were talking, there's lots of great Easter and spring product out right now, so it's nice to see something that I could use basically year-round for different types of cards. I find the sentiments really useful as well. Really versatile, especially the stamp set has so many different ones. There's lots of greetings. The Stitching Club of the Month has all those greetings. The small die, which I'm not showcasing today, but I will do something for a video or a reel or something. Kind of looks like it's a super girl or superwoman type, superhero. That's what I want to say. Dies. And that one has greetings. The crate bonus with the Better Press plate has greetings. I love when there's lots of greetings to choose from. Personally, that's kind of my favorite. Oh, Michelle, you're welcome. I'm so glad you love it. They do give an extra screw. I need to find mine, surely. I'm sure I have it, but I think I vacuumed up the one that was in here. I didn't realize it. I heard this sound when I was vacuuming. And now that I realized that my handle didn't have a screw in it anymore, I was like, oh. I had been using my die cut machine without a screw in the handle for probably, I don't know, 6-7 months. And I thought, oh, I should probably put a screw back in there. So I did. And it apparently has loosed itself again. So I need to go see where my replacement is, because I think that one is gone. And something else to note. So I've kind of done contrast stitching today for my first card and for this one. And these are the only two that feature the stitching set. I just really loved the ball cap. So I picked a contrast color, but you could match your thread color to your cardstock, and that will be a little more subtle if you wanted to, but still give you that awesome texture. Donna says you can't go wrong with multiple greetings. You absolutely can't. And to me, those months that you get lots of different greetings are always my favorite, even last month. So last month was definitely more of an Easter themed crate, or, you know, grouping from, or clubs. But there were spring greetings or kind of more generic hello kind of greetings. That makes those different pieces and sets way more versatile. Catherine, pardon me, it says, I'm picturing a bedazzled cap and shoe. That would be fun. Heidi says, I know where mine is, but haven't bothered. That's so funny. And Debbie says, my husband retired from plumbing and I asked for the tool to tighten the screw at all times. Yes, I have one and it's right in my drawer. I do the same thing. I'm like, well, I need that. I need to grab my little hexie screw and screwdriver and fix my machine constantly. That is the only bummer about the machines. I wish that that didn't happen, but I know it's just that constant motion makes it come loose. All right. Gina says, is your tooth better now? Yes. I had a root canal retreatment, and he said he thought it looked really well. And they even said, they were like, I think you'll be sore for a few days, blah, blah, blah. Do you need a painkiller? I was like, no. And I did take ibuprofen and Tylenol, but you guys, I haven't had as much pain as I thought. I actually haven't had any, to be honest. I'm surprised. So, yay. I thought even my jaw would hurt really bad. I have never had it where they put something on the opposite side to hold your jaw open. That was terrible. That was actually the worst part. But even that, I had a little bit of soreness, but it wasn't bad. So I would say, all in all, I don't like having dental procedures, but it went well. Okay, so look at that cute pink stitching. I'm going to just run my needle under here a couple times to hold my thread in place. And let's put this cap together and finish off our second card. Deanna says, I love last month so much that I had to sign up for the crate. Oh, I'm so glad. I am so, so glad. I love the value, and I love the different options you get from all of the different sets. Okay, and as I mentioned when we put together the first cap, one of the best things, I think, because the thread does add a little bit of bulk, not too bad, but it does add a little. If you've got your reverse tweezers handy, use that to just kind of help hold it and pinch it in place until the glue dries. And it helps a lot. We'll put all of our little pieces on here. There we go. Couldn't find it. Jessica says, better late than never. We're glad you're here. I have lots of cards to make today. I feel like since I missed last week, we're having a nice long live today. Making all of the things, playing with lots and lots of the March Club products. Okay, so a little glue on the bill of the cap again. Just gluing that down in place. We're going to glue our little cap patch. And you could leave this off. I actually thought it would be really fun, like to put like a little heart on here. Or if you want a seasonal little cap, words. Come on, Nicole. Wouldn't a green and white cap with a little shamrock die cut be cute too? I don't know. Just other fun little ways to really make it your own. Combine it with your other products that you love. So much fun. Okay, so this cap is a little bit more muted, I would say, because we're going to take now the flowers from the large die of the month. They had them sticking up out of the shoe, and this time we're going to use them to kind of embellish around our sneaker. Oh, I better put these little rivets on. Let me see. I have more. Dina, you made it. I still have one more to make after this, so you're good. And as always, you can, watch it from the beginning later on if you want to. You could do my favorite version. You can watch it sped up to catch up. I'll be in super speed. That's always fun. Even everything down to these little rivets was just thought out so well. Got the 48 Spellbinders color wheel, but one color wasn't smooth as the rest. Oh, which one, Monique? Since I got it, I never attached the handle to any of my die machines. That's awesome. How do you turn it? Do you just put it on when you need it and then take it back off for storage? I think these tweezers are not quite as pinchy as the... Oh, they're not. They look like they've seen better days. Oh, there we go. Okay, so before we add these florals, just going to grab everything out here. What I'm going to do is add a little bit of color shading to these. I thought that they would be a little prettier with a little bit of inking. So let's go ahead and do our greenery first. Lots of greenery. I've used the Peridot Spellbinders Cardstock for these. And this, I know if you were here last month, you probably heard me say this. The Peridot has been my favorite this spring. My greens change in floral arrangements depending on the season, but I've been loving the Peridot as a base color and then blending in. So I'm using a little Simon Says Stamp Field Color ink. And that is going to definitely make our greenery a little richer, but it's still going to give us that nice little limey touch from the Peridot out at the tips of the leaves. So here's what the difference and how much richer and more interesting it looks with a little bit of color. That's what you do, Jessica. You just take it off. That's so smart. It makes it a lot easier, especially when it pops out anyway. So we're going to do this for all the pieces, and it's just going to level them up a little bit, and we're even going to do it for the florals. Nothing crazy, not a lot of ink blending, just a tiny touch of color so that they don't seem quite as flat. There we go. And I like to try to do everything of one color at a time. And then we'll move on to our florals. The dimension slays. Yay. It wasn't Grasshopper. Oh yeah, Concord and Ninth. 100%. And that is for more of the fall and Christmas and that kind of thing. There is not a similar color in the Spellbinders collection as of yet. But whenever it's fall or Christmas holiday seasonal. I just like that darker color, but I really love this one just as a base color. We're probably getting closer to pardon me, not grasshopper, to raindrop. Isn't it raindrop or fern in the Spellbinders collection? But I like that little tiny touch of the limey green tip. I feel like it gives so much dimension. I've been watching but was busy and hadn't commented. Oh, thank you so much, Susie. I appreciate that. Michelle says she just ordered Peridot. I think you'll love it. As far as a base color goes, and then when you ink anything on top of it, it still shows. That's what I love. So the ink colors aren't too close to the cardstock color. Okay, so I have lots. Oh, here's the rest of my hat. Don't let me forget to put that on there. My flowers for this, we've got the Tutu Pink, which is going to be this color right here. Then I have a Chiffon Bloom. That's going to be my largest one. I believe I got Bellini here, and then we've got Beeswax. So nice springy colors for our card. And I'm going to start with Peony. I'm also going to probably cough, so I'm going to mute this. Excuse me. All right, so we're going to start with Peony, and that is going to be for our Tutu Cardstock color. And we're just going to blend a little bit of that in. Oh, I kind of wanted to do that the other way, but let's make a match. That's okay. And this one right here. Just a little bit. There we go. Crafty Queer says, you make blending look so easy. Love your card ideas. Thank you. All right. And then for both Chiffon and the Bellini cardstock, we're going to use the blush color for both. So I'm just going to start here, and I'm just going to take my small blending brush in the center like that. And it's going to fade quite a bit. And I think we'll even do that here. Just kind of gently work that out to the petals. And just like that. Okay. Then I bet I didn't cut flower centers for any of these. I love that for me. Maybe we'll do gems. Who knows? Maybe I'll have to die cut some things. We're going to take some Honey, Simon Says stamp ink now on the Beeswax cardstock. And we're just going to add some darker flower centers there too. Okay, our flowers are looking so much better than that flat business we had happening. And we're going to go ahead and pop our cap in place, and then we're going to start building our pretty little flowers to go on here. Oh, cute! Yes, eyelets in the cap would be very fun. If you still have your stash of eyelets left over from years ago, 100%. I would definitely use the smaller size ones if you have them. I think they'll fit better, but I think that would be cute. All right. So we're going to pop this up kind of like we did before, but this time the hat is going to be the focal point of our card. And right there, maybe a smaller one too, huh? There we go. Good blending makes the flowers, Kathleen says. I agree. They're really pretty, but blending and adding a little ink, it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be time consuming. It makes a world of difference. I have a fun card coming, I believe, Wednesday of this next week, for Simon Says Stamp. And it makes a huge difference on that one. Can't wait for that to come out and show you guys that. So I want to make sure that I leave room for my little sentiment to kind of sit underneath here. And we're just going to pop our cap kind of in the center like that, but maybe up just a little bit, since for this one I'm going to put my sentiment strip down below. And we're going to build out from our florals. So what I'm looking is I'm going to kind of build a floral arrangement right along the brim of the cap here. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my 2 leafy sprigs. And again, these are from the large die of the month. So we're mixing the stitching and, oops, I think I wanted that a little bit further this way. The stitching and the large die for this card. But we're just not using the shoe. And I'm not going to worry too much if this doesn't meet up super nice, because we're just going to cover up that with florals. Thank you, Monique. I'm so glad you love the Easter crest for the Easter kit. Yes, and I think the Easter kit, there's still some available. It is such a good one. I love it. All right, I'm going to put a little foam square back behind my largest flower, and we're going to start building out from the biggest flower on here. So I like to do all my big pieces, and then we can kind of build out from there. Probably should have tucked this little guy in too. Let's go ahead and put our blooms on and then put this one in. But this completely changes the look of the set by colors and different embellishments. And I love that for this card. So we obviously have this one, think more maybe teen boy, something like that. And then this one will work for, you know, girls, friends, whatever. So I'm just going to kind of build in my floral arrangement. And again, I'm not going to worry too much about the stem. I could clip that off, but more than likely it's going to get covered up. And kind of figure out how I want to do my flowers here. Oh, the Easter kit sold out last night, Beth said. Okay, thank you for the heads up. I had not had a chance to look. Well, that is good. I hope anybody who wanted it got it. Beth has a crying face, so maybe not. Yes, it does. It does fit on that. Okay, so we're going to just pop in our little flowers. I'm putting a little foam square, giving them a little dimension. We'll work on the flower centers here in a bit. Kind of get everything put where we want it to go. Isn't it a fun little floral grouping? I am loving it. I feel like, yeah, maybe down there. You sure it's the same cap? I promise it is. Isn't it amazing with just a few changes, the difference that you can get? And that's what makes versatile products. This will be one that you can create so many different things with. I actually kind of love wearing a ball cap, so I would love getting a card like this. There we go. And we do need flower centers. Apparently I didn't die cut them, so I'll grab that in a minute. The smaller ones, I definitely think I would use gems in. But for our greeting, now this is from the Stitching Club. It's that birthday MVP that I was talking about. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to start card 3 and finish card 2 at the same time. So I'm going to get my Glimmer warming up, and we're going to talk about that. Let me move some of this out of the way. All right, so our third and final card today. We are going to be using that Club Crate bonus Better Press plate, which I absolutely love. And again, it does come with sentiments. I'm not going to use those on this card, but it does come with them. And for this one, we are going to create the shoe, but we're going to have the flowers coming out of it. So again, that's going to work, you know, for all those girlfriends in your life or whatever. So I'm also going to Glimmer this. This again is a die, but this particular sentiment from Spellbinders, and if you've seen me create anything with this sentiment before, you know that I like to glimmer these sentiments. I think they glimmer so nicely and they always look really, really fun. So we are going to take, this is a little shade darker cardstock, and we're going to glimmer that in white. So this is the Waterfall. And then this is Chiffon Cardstock, and we are going to glimmer this in white. You can glimmer your Better Press plates, remember. You can use a Better Press or Glimmer, and we're going to do the white foil on here. And it's going to do I love the white foil on the light cardstock. I like it on any cardstock, but I think it's going to give a really nice effect. So let's go ahead. Get this lined up first. Hopefully. And while that's warming up, I'm going to put together our shoe. So the Glimmer is one of my absolute favorite tools. The white foil, and it comes in a pack of white and black, is one of my absolute favorites. So here's what the pack looks like. And I have multiple packages of this because I love it. Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. I'm so glad you love them. So again, I often like to have multiple things going. I've got my Glimmer warming up. In fact, let's move our thread. We don't need our thread anymore. And we need another little strip. I'm going to get all things prepped, and then I'm going to put together that other shoe. I know you've seen me put the other one together. But this card is going to have some elements from the previous two. So we're going to have a shoe, we're going to call it our Converse shoe. And that's from the first card, but we're going to do it in different colors. Going to have that cute little aqua shoe. And then we're going to take the florals that we used to decorate the cap on the second card, and we'll ink those just like we did, but this time they're going to be coming up out of the Converse. So all of that is ready to go. Just like so. We're going to move that out of the way. I'm going to set that there ready to go. And we're going to take our shoe and we're going to start putting all of this together. Now this time I used the same color for all of the pieces of the shoe minus the sole. That is going to be white again. Kind of went very traditional, I suppose, with my Converse. Donna says, when you do your cards, do you use a tool for card colors or just go with what you like together? Donna, I'm sure this isn't going to surprise you. I just go with what I like together. I love the idea of those card color combos, but I find I tend to like to just go with what I like. I wish I could use them because I actually have looked at those before. I think I even have something somewhere. I don't even know where it is. Thinking I would use it and I don't. Gonna make this for your daughter for Mother's Day. She loves wearing caps because she's a boy mom. Oh, Janetta, I love that. Okay, so I'm just putting the shoe together again like before, the 2 layers. We're going to build the toe and the sole and get all of the fun little details here. And I thought because we're doing the base background on the chiffon pink, that this aqua was going to show up really nice against it. To me, this just screams a springy type of card, but with a few color changes and take some of your favorite fall florals, you could totally do a super cute fall card with a lot of these same things. So it's again, really, really versatile. I think you need the plate touching the hot foil plate. It doesn't look like it is. Oh, we'll get it. Okay. It's heated up, so we will look at it. I'm going to put my laces on. Let that glue be drying. Oh, you're right. I think I need to flip it around, huh? I wasn't even thinking. Thank you. I was talking away. Let me make sure that this is touching everywhere. Thank you for saving me. Okay, there we go. Let's let that heat up. And we'll continue gluing. This shouldn't take too long now. We're going to do all of our foiling, which is just this background for this card and our sentiment. Hi, Lila. Wedding idea, use the shoe floral and a traditional black and silver. Oh, that would be super cute. You guys always have the best ideas. We're going to do our little stripe. And I did choose to do then a darker aqua there. Clean up a little of that excess glue. There we go. All right. Let's move all of that out of the way. And we're simply going to run this through. I'm going to go ahead and pop my carrier. Whoops, sorry about the blinking. It touched something. We're going to put the carrier back in, and we're going, oh, it shifted. No, it didn't. I lie. This is just the distressing on here. We're going to peel this off. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. I know it's super light on camera. Focus. There we go. Look at the white around the edges. So it almost looks like white pigment ink, but it's that awesome foiling, and it's that distressing all the way around the edges, the great little dot detail. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. I think this might be one of my new favorite. I'm going to save this because this foil could be used. I could have used it for my greeting. Can be used for something else. I think this might be one of my favorite new backgrounds. So good. Okay, let's go ahead. Pop our die in here, and you can glimmer some of your dies. It really just depends, but these sentiment dies are one of my favorite to glimmer. We're going to glimmer that, and then we can put that out of the way. The white foil looks so good. Now, think about super graphic. The black foil would look amazing. Like if you wanted to do a really good red and black or black and white background, that would look really good foiled with that black foil. Super cool. Kind of more of a skater type look, I'm thinking. I don't know if that's actually a theme that it's called that, but I think that would look really good. All right, so let's glue down a couple more things while I'm waiting for this to heat up or to finish heating. How do you like your glue press? It is my favorite thing. I love it. I did buy a new one though because my old one was so bad because I've used it so much and I didn't take good care of it. So I'm taking better care of this one. Just an FYI. My other one was all glued up and gunky. Not necessarily the press, but the thing I put it in. I tried to clean it and I couldn't get the glue off of it. But I couldn't live without my glue press now. That's how much I love it. So highly, highly recommend. All right, let's see what our sentiment looks like on here. So it overfoiled a little, but should not matter. So it says birthday MVP, and we are going to use our die, and I always cut that part off anyway, so we shall be good. We're going to run this through our die cut machine and trim that. All right, I am done foiling. I'm going to move this out of the way. And let's get a little bit of tape. I have a piece of leftover tape here. And I am going to take the die that coordinates with this, and I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. Just like so. Let's see, in your experience, does the Spellbinders color wheel papers glimmer well? Yes. Yes, they do. I know that a lot of the suggestion for glimmering is to use the hammer mill cardstock. And I have, especially in the past, but of course you're limited by the fact that the cardstock is white. I will tell you that I almost exclusively glimmer Spellbinders cardstock because I like to glimmer on colored cardstock probably 99% of the time. All right. So our little birthday MVP greeting here. Let's see. I'm going to take a foam strip and pop this up. Now, this is where on this card, inside, not on the outside, I will use that sentiment that we used on the first card, Have a Super Birthday. I would likely put that on the inside of this one. Or whatever sentiment, because I feel like at number one, or not whatever sentiment, but if you have another birthday inside sentiment, there we go. That's what I wanted to say. You could totally do that. But on this, I'm going to put my little birthday MVP right there. And then, of course, we just need to finish the flower centers. That hat is adorable. I'll have to rewatch that part. Yes, the hat is the cutest thing. All right, let's finish off this card now. And this one is going to be, of course, our cute little blue Converse. And before I get too far, I picked from our stamp set just for you, beautiful friend. And I love that that's part of our stamp set. So I need to kind of figure out where I want that to go in relation to my florals. So this time we are going to be making all of our florals appear to be coming up out of here. Probably shouldn't have glued that backing on there, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. That looks about right. So let me pop up our shoe. You could use that graphic background with Lawn Fawn's Build a Character Superhero Costume. Yes. Okay, and just the small die of the month that comes, if you get the small die or you get the crate, has a superhero in it. So this background would look amazing with her as well. But 100% the Lawn Fawn little superhero would be cute, cute, cute. So we're going to just put our little shoe, and I want to shift it just a tad bit. I don't want it to be too much in the center. Kind of almost at a little angle. And then just like before, we'll add a little color really quickly to this to build our little bouquet that's going to come out of our shoe. And that's that Peridot Cardstock and the Field ink. So Peridot Cardstock from Spellbinders and the Field ink from Simon Says Stamp, or any of your favorite green inks. There's others. I go back and forth what I like to use there. And I didn't use all the florals from this large die of the month set. I just used a few. I don't think I used the individual leaves for this one. But our floral colors are all going to be the same. So Chiffon and Bellini and Tutu and Beeswax. Thank you so much, Monique. Yes, I know I'm a little bit wordy today. So sorry. Thanks for joining. Okay, now I need to probably snip the stem a little bit because I want it to look like it's coming up out of the shoe. There we go. I'm going to put a little glue, and we're going to fill kind of our greenery here. Like so. Actually, I think I'm going to fudge this. We're going to stick it so that one's a little bit higher, but we'll cover it up with a floral so we won't be able to tell. We're going to snip that one a little bit. I better add ink to my blooms first. So these are just going to be that same peony color that I used before. I don't really think I even need to re-ink my tool. And we're just going to pop those on like so. These little buds are one of my favorites. I think you could even do multiples of these and they would be super cute. Maybe make that a little bit shorter. There we go. Look at that coming together. Yay, Carrie, I'm glad you caught me live too. All right, let's grab the remaining little florals. And whatever ink is left on my brush, this is when I get lazy for the most part. We might have to have a little bit more. Why is that ink pad always, the one I need, always at the bottom of the stack? Hey, there's Frank for everybody who wondered where he was today. He's here. As always. Let's see, I've been lurking. Oh my goodness. That's stupid o'clock, which is 4:30 a.m. in Aussie time. Oh my word. Well, I hope you got your homework done for the event. That'll be so fun. Oh, and a little reminder too. I don't have a link for it right this moment. I wish I had remembered to do that, but it's in my stories on Instagram. I'm teaching the one-day Christmas card making event for Scrapbook and Cards Today this summer. So would love to have you join. Super excited. You guys know that all Christmas everything is my love language. Love, love, love that. So we're going to pop our big floral bloom in here. And then there's all these great little layering pieces. So let me just put a couple of these in here. I definitely think I want to add some gems to this one. And we're going to add in the rest of this. Okay, signed up, can't wait. Yay! I love the stupid o'clock. I'm going to use that too. That's funny. It's perfect. And see, just filling in our little bit of florals, giving some nice height to this is adorable. And then we'll just tuck this one in. And then I'm going to put a little dab of glue. And I've got some little flower centers here that I did die cut. Let's see what we've got that we can use on this card while I'm here. I have extra. I'll have to die cut some more when we're off camera, but we'll use a couple things, at least that. Well, this one would be good too. Let's put this on a flower. Whoops, wrong end. There we go. Okay, we'll finish off the rest of these in just a bit, or I will do it later, one of the or the other. Okay, so this one, definitely a little bit more of a simplistic design. I actually think I like my sentiment here a little bit better. And this might be a card design that's multiple greetings might be cute. I kind of like, just for you, beautiful friend, you always step up. Don't you think that will be cute on this one? So let's grab another piece of cardstock and our Misty. And the great thing about both of these sentiments is there's a coordinating die in the stamp die combo for this. Now for these, I want these to show up, and the white is not going to be super legible, I don't think. Let me take these sentiments off. If I did the white embossing or white stamping. So I'm going to take my peony color ink. I kind of think the pink will be pretty on this. So it's still a pink on pink. Heather says my niece only wears Converse, but she wears different colored on each foot. Oh my goodness. Is this new time? No, Christy, it is the new time. I did post about it, but did you miss? I wondered where you were, but then I thought it might be too early for you. Hi, Judy. Oh, I'm so excited you signed up for it. Yay. Yes, I like this peony ink on here. Yes, Christy, the lives are going to be at 10 a.m. Central Time. Okay. I like these sentiments. Let's die cut these now. Let's see if I can find which ones they are. Oh, Koi, thank you. And we're just going to line these up and tape them down. And let's see, which one do we think it is? Maybe this one? I like guessing. Oh, that is it. Yes. There we go. So this is going to be kind of a nice gratitude themed card. We've kind of covered multiple themes in today's video. All right, so now all this card really needs, and I love the simplicity of this one, it definitely needs some little gemstones, 100%. But, sounds good, Beatrice. Reading is a wonderful thing. You know what? It's okay. I like to not read the directions for things and then be like, why is this not working? And then I'm like, oh, should have read the directions. Anyone else? because I'm notoriously bad at that. I'm like, oh, I know how this goes together. No, no, you don't. I'm almost always wrong. You'd think I'd learn. Okay. I like the 2 sentiments on here. Now, we're going to grab some gems to finish this off. Just like that. There we go. Look how cute. And I've mentioned this before, but what I like to do, the base color of this is the same color as the background of my card. And that makes it so it kind of blends into the background. You can still read the sentiment really easily. And it's on a separate piece of paper, so you don't have to worry about lining it up or anything like that. However, it still has that nice blending quality that I like. Let me get those gems. We'll pop a couple on here and then we'll kind of talk about all these cards, and that is going to be it for today. I think we're going to take, I actually think I like the tone on tone of these peach blush ones. I know I didn't add these to the description because I didn't know that I was going to use them until now. So I will add those when we're done with the live today. But I thought we need a little sparkle. And I like how these peach blush ones look on the Chiffon Cardstock. Whoops. Opal is also really good. That's another favorite. And we'll just scatter a few on here because who doesn't need a little sparkly on our card? I think we all could use a little sparkle, right? Add that in the flower center. Add a couple right down here. Just like so. Super simple. I think we need a couple more actually. I was going to say I was done, but I tend to fiddle a little bit. Everyone knows this. The embellishing is my love language here. Okay, be done, Nichol. And there is our super cute little finished card using the bonus crate item, the stamp and die, and then these here are all from the large die of the month. Now this card, and I just have to add some flower centers and this one will be done, but I do think it probably needs a few gems too. Maybe an opal color though for this. This one features the embossing folder of the month, the stitching die of the month, the large die of the month. Did I get everything for that one? I think so. And then, of course, we have this one, which is the stitching, the stamp and die of the month, large die of the month, and then the stencil of the month for the background, and the extra bonus club crate item. So 3 cards kind of mixing and matching all of the different clubs. Well, maybe not all, but most of the different clubs plus the bonus crate items today. Did I miss any questions while I was talking? Anything I need to answer before I let you guys go for today? Thank you for hanging out with me for this super long live, but we had lots to talk about, lots to create, and lots to make up for last week's miss. Oh, thank you guys. I'm so glad you love it. Yeah. Oh, yes, Teresa, you are correct. She said about a year ago, she believes Spellbinders did have a golf ball die, and I think you're right. That would be great. Oh, thank you guys. I'm so glad you loved the video or loved the cards. Oh, thanks, Deanna. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. We'll get these cards photographed and thrown up on social media as well as on my blog and get the email newsletter out. So stay tuned for that, probably tomorrow morning. If you're in my Patreon and you are in my tiers that get a live video, I will be live at 10 a.m. Central Time tomorrow. So come join me for some more crafting fun for your monthly live. And I will see you guys all. Don't forget, Tuesday of next week, 10 a.m. Central Time, and Friday. So have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye.